What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Movie Crack. Today's feature is a creature feature. Monster Island, directed by Mike Willowen. This movie is set in World War II, and when a Japanese ship that's carrying Allied prisoners gets attacked and sinks, the only two remaining survivors are a Japanese soldier and an English soldier. They must put their differences aside because a monster is hunting them down. The concept sounds great, but did it stick the landing? Let's get into it. Starting off with the two main characters, Saito, played by Dean Fujioka, and Bronson, played by Callum Woodhouse. During the movie, you can really tell that these two guys are not very well seasoned actors, especially in the scenes that require intense emotions. Their performances are entertaining enough, though, to kind of keep you interested enough, if that makes sense. The plot wouldn't lead you to believe that these two are so different to each other that it takes them a while to build that friendship, but it's not actually the case. In fact, like after 15 minutes, the Japanese soldier is like cooking the English soldier crab meat. So, yeah, a bit disappointing that there wasn't a bit more tension between the two main characters. The monster that's hunting them, then, though it looks good, which I'll get into in visuals, as far as what it is and why it's there, I mean, it's kind of hinted on in the movie, but they don't dive too deep into that either. That's a major problem this story has in general. I mean, we know fuck all about the two main characters. We don't know if they have a family. We don't know how they end up in the war in the first place. We don't know anything about them, so it's very hard to build a bond with them and to kind of, root for them. So yes, the story overall lacks major substance, which is to be expected when it comes to a over the top creature feature. The pacing in this movie, on the other hand, is fucking awful. It's not that the movie is slow, it's more of a confused mess as far as the editing goes, and it just makes the story so fucking hard to follow at times. But as far as pacing goes, like when you see the monster and when action gets going, I mean, the movie is pretty decent. It opens with action, and action kind of pretty much flows through the movie as it goes on. Overall, story and pacing definitely not the strongest aspect of this movie. 2 out of 5. Visuals and direction, starting with the positive, the monster. The monster is completely done with practical effects, and for that, the movie deserves a lot of credit. The movie is actually very reminiscent of the original Predator, the setting and the way the monster's makeup is done, and the way the monster kind of acts sometimes, very reminiscent of the original Predator. However, the Predator does it a lot better, in my opinion. In Predator, you actually don't really see the Predator until the last quarter of the movie. In Monster Island, you see the monster in full very early on in the movie and right through the movie, and it just takes an element of creepiness and spookiness out of it for me. It is quite obvious at times that it is a man in a suit, the way the creature kind of moves, and not great. As far as the locations they're shooting in, very, very nice location shots in this movie. In fairness, rivers and waterfalls and things like that. So good stuff in that aspect. The direction and the way the movie visually is filmed is so bad, man. For example, to get one simple shot in this movie of, say, somebody walking along a riverbank, you get one shot where one foot's in the water, one foot is on land, but then there's like two cuts, and then they're on the rock that's 5 feet in front of them, and then there's another cut, and then they're fully in the water again. What the fuck? There's a point in this movie where the two main characters get separated for reasons we won't get into in case of spoilers. Jesus fucking Christ, the way that they directed this was a fucking nightmare. Hop, skip, and fucking flip. That's the way that they directed this sequence of the movie. You're with one character walking through a river, there's 4 cuts, then it flips back to the other character, there's fucking walking up a cliff, 4 cuts. Then you skip back to the monster. The monster's fucking killing shit and fucking 4 cuts and give you a fucking seizure, man. Yes, editorial direction wise, a fucking nightmare. But visually, the monster looked awesome. The gore was very good. When the kills were there, they were over the top. They were very fun. Visuals and direction, 3 out of 5 for me. Sound and score. The sound in the movie is pretty decent. when the monsters, roaring and the kills are happening, it's all good stuff. It's all well filmed that way, sound wise. Not going to stick on this segment for too long. The score, there is no real score. I don't remember any music that played while the movie was on. So, sound and score, I'm going to go 2 out of 5. There you have it, folks. 2.3 out of 5. Final score for Monster Island. Damn, that's tough. That being said, if you like this movie talk, you like this movie crack, stick around. Don't be a sausage. Hit the like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We have a TikTok as well if you want to hop over there for a quick look. Thank you all very much. See you in the next one. Hopefully it's a good one. Good luck.